Good morning, good morning, good morning, loves. It's yours truly, Dr. K, and it is Freedom Friday. Freedom Friday. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Do me a favor as you come on. Go ahead and like and share. And also in the comments, drop your name. A good morning. Tell me where you're tuning in from. Good morning, Roseanne. Good morning, Sabrina. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, Gifty. Good morning, Avril. Good morning, good morning. Listen, y'all. As I was getting ready, good morning, Mom, in Atlanta. As I was getting ready this morning, I'm listening to God's Zone. I hear Avril and Rutho talking, and they're talking about peace and all of this great stuff. So I'm like, okay, God, I'm ready. Let me go down here and read and get myself together. And do you know, I got down here in front of this computer and the camera wouldn't work. The audio wouldn't work. Like, I am in the same platform that I always am in. My settings are saved, everything, but nothing wouldn't work. Like, I'm sitting here and my sister Shanita texts me and I'm like, girl, pray with me because I don't know what's going on. I know in my mind what God said I was supposed to talk about, but I'm like, maybe he got a different plan. So I'm just going to let him use me this morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Boudreaux, Cleveland, Ohio in the house. Miami 305, ATL. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Sherry, Lynn, Dr. Marcy, Christina Callwood. Good morning. I know he can't win. He ain't going to win because we ain't going to stop. We already know what it is. So listen, good morning, Pastor Butler from Houston, Georgia. Good morning, good morning. I'm excited, y'all. Listen, it's Friday. It's before the holiday weekend. I am excited. I'm excited. I'm waiting on my friend to come on because today is her birthday. So listen, this morning I was reading and I got down here. And like I said, I got nervous, y'all. I get real hot quick when stuff is out of order. And I'm like, wait, what's going on, Lord? What we talking about this morning? And he was like, just relax. So scripture that I was meditating on this morning was Matthew 12:33. And this is the New International Version. And it says, make a tree good and its fruit will be good. Or make a tree bad and its fruit will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruit. I'm going to let you marinate on that for a second. Make a tree good and its fruit will be good. Or make a tree bad and its fruit will be bad. For a tree is recognized by its fruit. So, question for you this morning. Are you producing good or bad fruit? Because it's not an in-between. It's one or the other. Are you producing good or bad fruit? Now, it took me back and I started thinking about it as I was reading. And again, good morning, Shanita. Thank you. Good morning, Tanisha. Ohio in the house. Christ side is the best side. Woo, woo. That's my girl. So, good or bad? Are you producing good or bad fruit? Now, I thought about that thing from a different perspective, and I'm gonna come back where I'm supposed to be, but I'm gonna probably go off a little bit because listen, this morning I didn't take no whole bunch of notes. I'm just talking to you from where he is bringing it to me from. I took a few notes, but so I started thinking, in today's society, I was thinking, I'm like, our kids, our youth. So when I say kids, I'm not just talking about the little ones. I'm talking about our youth. Good morning. Good morning, prophetess. Thank you for joining us this morning. In this world, there are so many manufactured substitutes. There's so many stuff, so many replicas. Now, ladies, I don't want to step on no toes. I'm not saying that you have to have the name brand everything. I'm just saying sometimes we have a lot of replicas and the G's might look a little different. The LV might look a little different. So it's a lot of replicas out there. And we have to ask, because sometimes it's some good replicas. We have to ask ourselves, is it the real thing? I remember back in the day, and I'm going to date myself, Coke, I think it had a commercial say, it's the real thing, baby. So, sometimes we have to ask ourselves, is it the real thing? Because our children they're getting these alternative views of what life is supposed to be like. They're getting this watered down version of the direction that they're supposed to go based on replicas, based on things that look like what it's supposed to be, but it's really not, based on social media portrayals. Yesterday I was talking to one of my loved ones and we were having a deep conversation about, what's been going on with the shootings in the schools and the different things. And, is it public education versus charter school? Which direction should we be going, and all of these different things. And the long and the short of it came in, hey, you're going to have to do some research, because what social media puts out there isn't necessarily what it is. What's out there, period. You got to look at each individual situation, each individual school. So we were talking about that thing, and I said, it's so interesting to me, the pull that social media or all of these different entities have on our children, on their values, on how sometimes things are presented as legitimate, but they're actually not. And then it gives our youth, our children, those who are coming up behind us, the idea that, this is my independent way of how I express myself, and it's okay for me to do it. There's a certain way that we're supposed to do a thing. There's a certain way that we're supposed to move. Everything is still to be grounded in Him. And I know that might seem a little old-fashioned to our younger generation, but not so much. So I still have to ask them, are you producing good or bad fruit? But I know when I ask that question to them, most times I have to really go deep into my explanation, because they're like, well, what are you talking about? What does that mean? Are you producing good or bad fruit? And it takes me back, and I can only good morning, Auntie Lois. I can only go back and think about it from me, and give you an example of me and my life. So what I know for a fact is, old fashioned or not, the blood never loses its power. It's never lost it in my life. It still works today, just like it did 47 years ago. It works. I grew up on the word, so I know it. The word is in me. But my example with the good or bad fruit is just this. Some people will say how you raise your child. Well, you might be doing too much. Well, for me, my thought always was, when I was a new mother at 23, my thought was, if I do right by people, then whether I'm here on this earth or not, later as my son matriculates through life, then people will do right by him. So in my mind, I was laying a foundation because I wanted to produce good fruit. And I understood, if I sowed good seed in good and fertile soil, then the fruit that I produce through Him, through Christ, it would be good fruit. And that fruit that I was sowing as a mother would then cover my son, my grandchildren, and future generations. So I want us to understand that. And that's the best analogy that I can use, because people say, well, he was so spoiled, or he did this or that. No, from the outside looking, because if you asked him, was he spoiled? He wasn't. It was a give and take. Did he have good grades? He did. Did he produce in school, on the field and off the field? He did. And did he have to do things at home? He did. Did I teach him the values that were instilled in me as a child? I did. Now, can I make him be me? I cannot. But what I can do is I can sow good seed, and I can have a pure heart. Because the simple truth of the matter is this: regardless of what, because people are like, well, is it good or is it bad? Am I sowing good seed or bad seed? Where is your heart? What is your heart posture? Because at the end of the day, if you're sowing seed from a negative place, if your intentions are bad, then the fruit that's produced is going to be evil. It's going to be bad. If your heart is in the right place, your intentions are good, then the fruit that you produce are going to be good fruit. Now, I've been on this whole thing of fruit and sowing and all of that for a minute. Like, we were in Bible study, I think it was last week, and I happened to be teaching on Joanna. Joanna was a woman in the Bible, and the scripture that we were looking at also came from Matthew, and it was the parable of the sower. Now, a very familiar text. I have heard it taught many times. I have even taught on it. But I taught on it on Wednesday, and then I went to the church. I visited a friend's church, Bernadette and Derek, and I promise you, we got in there, and Pastor Robinson was talking about the parable of the sower. So this just made me this morning say, you know what? Let me bring those points back. So he said some things, and this is again, I want you to think about this question. I'm gonna pose it to you: good or bad fruit? Which one are you producing? What's coming from you? How are you sowing seed? What is happening? Good or bad fruit? So what did he say? He said that within that parable of the sower, there are a few things that are going to be consistent. And I need us to understand. Number one, we're going to have a sower. The sower must follow the plan. The sower must follow the system. Otherwise, if we're sowing seeds anywhere, then we may not produce the fruit that we want to. So understand where I'm getting to it. I see my sister. Oh God, Brandy, you just made me stop. Many of us need heart transplants. Only God can do a surgery that will get to the deep-rooted issues. Yes, ma'am. And girl, that's a whole word right there. I'm gonna just leave that up there. Number two, we have the seed. The seed is the word. The seed is going to grow. It's going to do what it needs to do. Number three, we have the soil. So I want you to think about the soil as us. I want you to think about the heart. That's why I'm leaving that up there, because it's us, how we receive things. The only variable in this is going to be that soil. What is your heart posture? How is your heart? Is your heart, when you receive the seed, is it really being sown in good soil? Or do you have your own intentions? Are you looking to do a whole different thing? Are you thinking about, okay, I'm gonna get them back, or oh, I'm gonna let them see me? Because God is saying, if you want to be seen, if it's about you, then it's not gonna work. So if you're wondering why you bit the apple and it's bitter, because your seed, your soil wasn't right. You didn't sow good seed on good soil, so it was never gonna work. And I thought about that thing. I'm like, so that means we got to do our part. Because he said, you know, when you think about that parable, guess what? The guy, he was excited about his harvest. So he didn't threw the seeds over his back and he's just walking to the field. But something happened in that. Some seed fell on rocky ground. Some seed fell on it fell on shallow cement concrete. So we know that wasn't going to grow. Some grew where there were thorns and things of that nature. So it got choked out. And then some fell on good soil. So in that, as he was talking, he said, you know, some of us, our seed is going to fall on wayside soil. So we just sowing seed over here. It's not falling nowhere firm because our hearts are not right. We are not where we need to be. And then some of us are sowing seed on rocky, stony places because it looked good for the moment. It's like, oh, I can make that happen. No, God is saying it's not going, it might grow for a second, but because it's not rooted in nothing, it's going to die. And then we got the thorny places, it's going to get choked out. So it's like, dang, I'm doing this over and over, and I'm trying to make it happen. Why isn't it staying consistent? Because you're trying to sow seed in a place with thorns and it's getting choked up out of you because you still want to have your foot a little bit in the world and a little bit over here. So you're going to have to make a decision, and it ain't going to be a popular decision. It's not going to be the decision that everybody else is. Okay, well, I can act like this and I can still do this. You're going to have to decide. God is saying he don't want no part-time lover. Either you're going to be all the way with him or you're not. He is not looking for you to be a part-time person. Whoo, girl, you better say it, Roseanne. You better say it. But then for that person, for that, as the parable goes, as he continued to walk, then some of his seed fell on good soil and it produced 100 time harvest, some 60 times harvest, some 30 times. So is everybody's seed going to be producing the same way? It's not. So we got to check ourselves and see, hey, where am I coming from? What am I doing? What's my intention? And I'm going to put this back real quick. As my sister said, some of us need heart transplants that only God can give. He has to do that surgery. Because some of us are still holding on to those things. Some of us are still angry and mad about stuff and that people did to us, and those people are gone from this earth, but we're still holding it, and we project it on somebody who looked like them, somebody who smelled like them, somebody who make you think about what they did. And at the end of the day, we're going to have to release it. We're going to have to go. That's right, Roseanne. This is where legacy comes in. Are you sowing good seed? Are you producing good or bad fruit? So stop looking and saying, oh my God, I can't believe it. He or she just like their daddy. No, he or she might be just like you. Because guess what? You implanted there as well. So it's not just a them thing. It's, hey, what kind of seed did I sow? Where was I during that time? Stop saying it's other people. when Pastor was talking, he said, I'm gonna give you the good news and the bad news. And you know, all of us, we're like, okay, give me the bad first, because I'm gonna rejoice on the good. And he said this, which is a whole word, and I'm gonna just drop it. He said, some soil won't bear fruit at all. Case in point. I don't know if y'all got a green thumb, but sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. If I put it in the ground, I'm good. If I keep it in the pot, it might not make it, because my mind won't deal with it. I can't. So I have learned, if I put it in the soil, if I put it in the ground, we're good to go. But some of the things are not taken off, because guess what? Come on, Auntie Lois, because we are not taking responsibility for what we have done. We have not tilled our soil. We are not tending to it. We let it dry out. That means we are not reading our word. We're not taking time to spend with him. We're not reflecting. We're not putting the flashlight down and picking up the mirror and looking at ourselves to see, hey, where am I? What's my role in this? What have I done? Why is this thing not producing? God, you said that I was going to be a business owner, but I don't understand. Well, yeah, he said you were going to be a business owner, but you got to go through the process of learning what it takes to be a business owner. So yeah, your first endeavor might not have blossomed like this person's did, but you got a valuable lesson from it. So don't take everything as an absolute. Yes, Roseanne says, so my seed goes into my children, then that seed goes into the community, and the community seed goes to our nation, and we need to replant. That's a word right there, Roseanne. That's a whole word. I appreciate that, my sister. That says it all. So what are you doing? Because whether you intend to sow seed or not, every day some seed is falling out your bag. As you're on your way to the field to plant it, some seed is falling. You got some wayside soil that's happening. You got some stony places. You got some thorn places. So be careful of how much of your seed that you're actually taking. Make sure it's not a hole in your bag. Make sure that when you get to where the soil is, that you can sow your good seed in good soil. You got to be focused. You got to make sure that you stay the part. You got to make sure that you're not missing the mark. Don't get so caught up on the replicas. Don't get so caught up on what a thing looks like that you forget what he said to you, because he's given us our vision. Each one of us has a purpose. Each one of us is supposed to be doing a thing. The way that he called me to do it is not the same way that he called Pastor Butler to do it. The way that he called Dr. Marcy to do it is not the same way that Prophetess Brandy is doing it. So everybody has their own way of that they're going to do it, because he has designed us for this time, specifically for our shoes, for our walk, for our purpose. It's not all going to look the same. It's not all going to be the same. And guess what? Some people going to call you crazy. Some people going to say it don't take all of that. But guess what? God is saying it does take all of that. We have to be obedient to him. We want to make sure at the end of the day that we can say, you know what, Lord, I'm so grateful that I'm able to see good fruit. I'm able to see good fruit. I'm able to see that through you were able to work and do a thing through me. I know that there are seasons when it comes to sowing and reaping and harvest and all of that. I know sometimes it's going to have to be a pruning season where some stuff going to be cut back. I know sometimes it's going to be a little dormant and I'm not going to be able to see on the surface. It's going to look like it's dormant, but underneath there's a thing that's happening with the roots. They're still there. So Lord, I know it's going to look different. And I know sometimes my basket, my bushels are going to run over with fruit. I know that. And I will make sure that I store enough in my good season when I'm harvesting, so that when it's a slower, dry season, I can still be able to pull from it. I'll be able to do that thing. We got to be focused on it. We got to understand, yes, all of that and a whole lot more. So family, this morning, like I said, I was getting myself ready, and the whole situation on this thing just stopped. But I said, Lord, you know what? I understand what you're trying to tell me, because it's a reason that this parable of this sower keeps coming back. It's a reason that you keep talking to me about good seed, about soil, about fruit, and all of those things. I know, I understand. And I said, you know what I want to leave us with this morning, as I was sitting here thinking, is the serenity prayer. Because sometimes we think we're doing what we need to do, but we get a little lost. So we know that we need him to continue to show us how to move. So on this morning, I'm going to ask God, grant me the serenity, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we can't change, the courage to change the things we can't, and the wisdom, which is the key thing, to know the difference. So, with that being said, family, I love each and every one of you. And we are about to go into a holiday week. So, Frank and I actually going to take some time off to go ahead and regroup, get ourselves together, refresh. So I ask that and pray that you guys pray for us with traveling grace and mercy. We will not have Motivation Monday next week, nor will we have Freedom Friday, but we will be back on June 6th, ready to rock and roll. So, family, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And I don't know if she is on just yet, but I wanted to say happy birthday to my friend, Princess, my friend, my aunt, my girl, Princess. It's her birthday. And hey, y'all just say happy birthday to her. I posted it already on Facebook, so I'm excited about her day and her having a great one. Yeah, hey, Dr. Marcy said her birthday gonna be on June 6th, so we'll be celebrating when we come back on June 6th. Thank you for the well wishes and the safe travels, and I'm excited to announce I see Dr. O and Rutha Osilian are on. Y'all know we had our sister Olivia Osilian on when she was raising her money to go out on her mission trip. She decided instead of going right into college that she was going to go out and she was going to be a fisher of men. And she has gone out and she did that thing. And guess what? Her parent, that time flew by real quick, Ruth, though. I'm just saying, Dr. Oh, that was quick. But our sister is coming home and they're going to pick her up on Sunday. So I know they're excited. I cannot wait to hear her testimony of all the things that she has seen, all the different places that she has been. Rutho, drop in the chat all of the places that Olivia went to. I'm so excited. God, hey, that's sowing good seed. Once again, y'all, that we were a part of that. It takes a village to raise a child. So I'm so excited. Our little sister has been places that we have not even seen. So I'm excited. And guess what? She came right out of high school and knew she was going into missions. Come on, y'all. Come on. I'm excited about that. So I can't wait to hear the praise reports and all of that good stuff. Look, Jackie said, I did. Yeah, we sowed great seed into that baby girl. So I'm excited to see how God is just going to use her. Oh, look, she went to Romania, Dominican Republic, and Nicaragua. Come on now. Y'all, we're excited about it. So God bless you. Yes, nobody but God. Nobody but God. Little sister is coming home and she is going to have some stories to tell. I'm excited about that. So God bless you, Rutho and Avril. You have done well. And guys, she is a part of our family too. So we love Olivia. We can't wait to hear from her soon. Guys, I'll see you on June 6th. Remember, next week, vacay coming down. Need a little break. I love you. Bye-bye. Woo, and she stayed in each place 3 months. Listen, she gonna have some real stories for y'all. Yes, Roseanne. Roseanne said Olivia is gonna teach us. She is. And again, that's that fruit. That's sowing good seed. That's seeing that fruit come out to harvest. It's harvest time, Ruth, though. It's harvest time. Let's get it. I love y'all. Bye-bye.